Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience and I am Patience. And in today's video, we are talking about why your hair isn't growing. So if you've noticed that your hair is stagnant, it's just not making as much progress as you want it to do, this will definitely be the video for you. So remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get straight into it. These may be the reasons why your hair is not growing, and we're gonna go over some solutions that could possibly help you overcome that barrier. So the first reason is that you don't have a hair care routine. So if you are a person who's trying to have a goal of growing your hair, you need a routine, just like anything. However, it is a good plan to put in place if you want to grow your hair and you want to retain length. Having a routine that you go through on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, monthly basis is really good, and it's just a way of making sure that you prioritize and you care for your hair. Now, with the busy things that go on in life, we don't always have time to prioritize something as frivolous hair. You know, it's not the highest thing on our priority list. So if that's the case, then you just want to put in a simple routine in place just so that you remember that, okay, every week I'm washing my hair on Saturdays or Fridays. Every other week I am deep conditioning my hair. Maybe every month you put on a hair mask. Whichever it is, set a routine that you know that you can follow, and it will help you to make sure that you prioritize your hair, and in the busyness of life you remember to still take care of your hair. But this also goes into the second point, which is that you may have a very complicated or very involved and time-consuming routine. Now, as important as it is to have a hair care routine, it is more important to have one that you can keep doing over and over and over again, and it doesn't burn you out and it doesn't make you stressed. I've heard people say when washes come in, they're so stressed, they're just trying to find a way to avoid it. I don't really do that. I don't typically skip my wash days or when I have to wash my hair or do my hair care routine, because it's simple. It's not something that's taking like half the day to do. And so if you have a simple hair care routine with not too many products, not very involved, you can do it quickly and move on with your life. You have time to do other things. You don't have to sit out the entire day just to wash your hair. We have other things in our lives going on. So making sure that it's not too complicated, too involved, involving too many products and super expensive, that would ensure that you put in place something that is replicable and it's simple to follow, that you keep coming back over and over again, which will help your hair be consistently taken care of and thrive. The third reason why your hair probably isn't growing or you're not retaining length is that you might be over manipulating your hair. People who have to do something to their hair every single day, it's hair, so it grows back. So if you don't have the goal of growing or retaining length, go ahead, do what you need to do. However, if you want to retain length, it is best that you don't over manipulate your hair every single day or every other day. Give it a break. Let it just do what it needs to do. I like to put my hair into mini braids and mini twists, and when I do that, I typically keep it anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. And especially my mini braids, I do 4-week increments, and it's really good for your hair to just give it a breather, especially if you are the type of person who doesn't always have time to do it. So you're trying to squeeze it in every single day and then you're rushing, you are doing something with it, but you don't have time to fully give it the attention that it needs. Then you are compromising the state of your hair in the name of doing something to it every day. You don't have to detangle it every day. You don't have to moisturize it every day. I mean, you could moisturize, but you don't have to take it out and then do everything. It could be too much for your hair. Some people have more resilient hair and some people have more fragile hair. So you need to find the balance for your hair and do what you see best for it. The fourth thing is that you may not be protecting your hair at night. Now, I started protecting my hair at night almost a year into my hair care journey, that I found it important to put on a bonnet. And there are several reasons why you may benefit from this. One is that it's just a way of ensuring that your hair is not breaking, or a lot of us sleep on cotton pillowcases, and the pillowcase is also not silk or satin, so you're rolling all around and it's sucking the moisture out of your hair, so your hair becomes brittle and fragile because the moisture has been pulled out of it, and we're typically sleeping from anywhere from 5 to 8 hours a night, some people even more. And so, you know, your hair is on your cotton pillow and the moisture is being sucked out of it. It is important to get a silk or satin bonnet or a silk and satin scarf. I personally use satin because it's a less expensive option, but you can also opt to get in silk and satin pillowcases, and that makes it easier so you don't have to always wrap your hair at night. I know some people are not too crazy about it and would rather have their hair out, and that's good. But I also think that there's a benefit to it in terms of you don't get a lot of lint or anything stuck in your hair. Your hair is good as new, I mean, if you wrap it correctly. So making sure that you protect your hair at night is very important, and it could be what's stopping your hair from really growing and thriving. The fifth thing is that you're not utilizing protective styling. Now, I know everybody's not crazy about it, and everybody has a different idea of what protective styles are, depending on your goals, depending on how you wear your hair. I personally, like I said, use mini braids and mini twists, and I find that to be what works for my hair, with mini braids being my top. I love mini braids, and everybody doesn't like the look of mini braids. It really deflates your hair, doesn't look like that much volume, at least on me, and it's not the look a lot of people may want to go for. So twists are another option. I prefer mini braids because they last longer, I can easily wash it and I have to redo it, and they are elongating my hair, so when I take it out, they're already in a stretch state. But find out what works best for you. It doesn't go the same for everybody. Cornrows might be your thing, and other people might prefer the mini braids. Some people might prefer other things. I will caution you on what you consider protective styling. I've heard people say tapings are protective styling. I personally don't think tapings are any type of protective styling at all. And also, some people I know do wigs or weaves. Also be careful of those, because if you're doing especially a leave out, or you are doing the glue with the how it's affecting the edges of your hair, always find that out and find out what best works for you. You can try different things until you know. I know some people go to style like wash and goes, and some people consider that protective styling. I don't know if it is, but I did try wash and goes and it did not work for me, so I moved on to something that did. So make sure that you find a protective style that you're comfortable with, that works with your lifestyle and benefits your hair. I love waking up in the morning, taking off my bonnet and being ready to go. I don't have to do anything to my hair because I have mini braids in, and that's one of the main reasons why I love it. The sixth thing is that your hairstyles might just be too tight. And this is something that you have to learn to speak up on, because a lot of times we go to hairstylists, if you're a person who gets your hair braided a lot or cornrowed, you don't say anything because you think the hairstylist knows best. But the hairstylists often know best for the hairstyle, not for the long-term results of what your natural hair looks like. It's important that we speak up when we are experiencing tightness when we go to the salon, but also on our own. So when I'm doing my own mini braids, which I do, I don't go to the salon for those. I make sure that it is loose enough that I don't feel too much tightness. Like, of course, there's certain level of tightness that you do it so that it lasts long. But I'm also being cautious because I don't want to restrict my hair too much, because that could negatively affect my hair and it doesn't feel comfortable. A lot of time people get braids or cornrows and it takes them like weeks to get before they can get another comfortable sleep, and that's not a good practice because it affects your body. It affects so much of who you are. So don't compromise and don't take on being silent when you know that hairstyle is too tight. Speak up. I personally don't get too many cornrows because I do find that it's tight, not just at the edges of my hair, but also at the back, and it can feel very uncomfortable. But just making sure that you make sure your voice is known, because it's your hair and you know what's best for it. And if it's too tight and you feel like it's too tight, it's probably because it is too tight. The seventh thing is that you could be doing a lot of stress causing hairstyles. And by these, I'm talking about the tight hairstyles, but also things that are just too manipulative and too involved every single time. So you want to make sure that you're not using too much heat. That's another one of those things. And as you can see, if you use a lot of heat over and over again, especially without protecting your hairs with heat protectants properly, you start losing your curls, you start having heat damaged hair, or some people call it heat trained hair. And depending on what your hair goals are, that may or may not be what you want. So it's really important to consider that. And this is as well as other hairstyles that could involve leaving some hair out. I've seen some braids. that, you know, you're leaving pieces of your hair out, and that may not be beneficial for your hair growth. So you want to make sure that whichever hairstyles that you are doing, of course have fun with your hair. It's just hair at the end of the day, but make sure that it's not causing too much stress on your hair and your strands, especially your ends. The ends are the oldest parts of your hair, and so you want to make sure that whatever hairstyles that you're doing, your ends are also protected, or at least not being put into harm's way, because they're the first to go whenever there's too much stress on your hair. The 8 is that you are styling your hair way too much, especially if you're not protecting it with heat protectants. Now, how often people do it is up to them. I think everybody has different hair types, densities, how much heat your hair can take, but I've gone into the practice of not using heat on my hair a lot of times. I've used blow dryer once this year, and last year I did it one time and got a self press another time, and so I've reduced the amount of heat that I use. I have a whole video on my natural hair journey, so check it out if you're interested in it. But it's really important that when you are going to do these hairstyles, especially if you're using heat, ask yourself, is heat required for this hairstyle? So I like to put my hair into mini braids, and as much as it would be nice to use heat and then do it, I prefer to rather stretch my hair out in big chunks of braids and then take it out, comb it, and then my hair is stretched, and then I'll go ahead and put in some mini braids or mini twists. So if you find alternatives that would take away your need to use heat, there's always banding. I like to band my hair when it's out so I don't have to stretch it with heat. So I band my hair, I get a nice stretch. And so very few times do I use heat, and you may want to consider this. Some people use heat every wash day, and if it works for them, it works for them. But if it's something that you're doing and you're not seeing any benefits with it, you may just want to consider an alternative. At least try it out. The 9th reason could be that you're putting harmful chemicals in your hair. Now, with simple hair care products, there may not be too much, but you also want to make sure you're doing your due diligence in researching them before you put them in your hair. It's really important to know that you probably care the most about your hair out of everybody else on this planet. So do your due diligence and research what chemicals are in this product. Some of them are really great for our hair, others not so much. So you want to find out, do I need to avoid sulfates or parabens or any other chemicals out there, including possibly relaxers? That's something that you have to consider for yourself, because I know the relaxer has a chokehold on the Black community as well as other communities. But ask yourself, is it really helping in my hair? And if you want to retain length and you see that your hair keeps breaking over and over again once you get a relaxer, it might be because you may need to leave it alone. So find out what works best for you and your hair will thrive. And the last one is that you may not be eating correctly and exercising. Our hair is part of our body. It's a whole system. So if you're not feeding your body right, if you're not exercising, if you're not keeping your body in good shape, it will not prioritize hair growth. And so it is important that you are drinking enough water, eating good foods with good nutrients, and you are exercising, keeping your body fit, giving your body the fuel it needs to make sure that everything is working correctly. And once your internals and everything else is doing great, then your hair would flourish, because there's extra nutrients to do other things such as grow your hair, grow nails, glow skin. So it's very important to make sure that you take your health as a big priority in your life, not just for hair growth, but just because you only have one body. So take good care of it. So I've already given some solutions in there, but I did want to read out my list of solutions to these problems. There's 10 solutions. So the first one, of course, is to simplify your hair care routine. I talked about it. You want to make sure it's something that you can do easily, it's not time consuming, and it works with your lifestyle. The next one is to be consistent and follow that hair care routine. So if you put one into place, make sure you follow it. Do not be skipping it, and do not just take it as a slight suggestion. If you choose to do something and you have a plan for it, follow through. The next one is have patience and don't overcomplicate your hair care routine, because you can't force your hair to grow at a much faster pace than it already is. The average person grows about half an inch of hair a month, which averages about 6 inches a year. When you're talking about the trims that you do, you're probably retaining maybe 5 inches. You can't be forcing your hair trying to grow an inch or 2 inches of hair a month. I know we've seen these videos online. However, take your time and just prioritize retaining that length The next one, of course, we talked about wearing a silk or satin bonnet to bed and making sure you protect your hair at night. After that, you want to make sure that you're wearing protective styling. If you do a protective style, try to keep it in for at least 2 weeks. Maybe 2 to 4 weeks would be really beneficial for your hair. So don't put in, say, cornrows today and then take it out tomorrow, and then put them in and then take them out, and then put them in and take them out like 3, 4, 5 times in a 2-week span. You're not benefiting your hair because it's so much manipulation. Which goes on to the next one, which is make sure to be gentle with your hair, your scalp, and avoid tight hairstyles. They don't benefit you. You're losing comfort, you're losing peace, you're losing sleep, and you might just be losing your hair follicles too. The next thing is to be intentional about your hairstyle, making sure that it's not causing too much stress and it promotes hair retention. Next is to reduce heat styling. If you think you're going overboard, I mean, only you can decide that for yourself. You just may want to reduce it. And then avoid harmful chemicals and eat healthy. Keep your body fit. Make sure that you're prioritizing your overall health, and you will see that your hair will flourish. So thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know, what do you think keeps people's hair stagnant? Let me know if you ever went through it and what you did to push it to the next step. So I've let you know mine, and I really hope to hear from you. So thank you so much. Ring the notification bell because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Come on over because the conversation